Good morning, moms in real estate. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Me and Randy were just talking, and we both had a lot going on.
We did. It was fun though. It was so much fun. And I don't know about you, but my weekends like motivate me and they get me more excited because I get to experience things that I want more of. And the goal is to flip my work week around and have my week, I only work as much as I do on the, you know what I'm saying? Like 2 days a week work and like 5 days a week play. So I'm
Yeah.
always excited. Like that's a big goal of mine to flip that week around.
Yeah. Well, and what we were talking about this morning, we were scheduled for a masterclass. It got moved to next week. So in case you guys are like, where the heck is Kayla? She'll be on next week. We're moving her. She's actually in I think she's in Georgia, but her internet is really bad. And there's nothing harder than trying to do a masterclass with bad internet. So we were like, let's make this next week so that everyone can get the most out of her class. Bonus is she's going to give a 1 year into the Stay Bossy coaching program to somebody on the call. So you'll want to make sure to register for that. We'll put the link under this. But I talked to Randy and I was like, one thing everyone loves that Randy does is like, basically they come to Randy and they'll say, hey, Randy, I'm brand new in real estate. I don't have a plan. I want someone to help me come up with a plan. And my goal is to make X amount my first year. Right. And so I was like, Randy, why don't we just role play and do this today? And she's like, I'm down. So I'm Kristen. I'm a brand new agent. That's who I'm going to be today. And Randy's going to be herself.
Let's do it. Let's do it in the hot seat. First thing Monday morning. Let's go.
All right, let's go. I just scheduled a call with Randy. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to have this call. It looks like, so in reading through the questions that you answered, it looks like your goal is to sell 100 grand in the next year. So I want you to talk to me about that. Where did the number 100,000 come from?
So I was just thinking, like, I would love to make $100,000 my first year in real estate. And I've heard a lot of people who have done it. And I just want to know, like, what's the roadmap if I'm going to be able to do that? What does that look like? What do my daily activities look like?
Yeah. So I love that because I think it's so important in this industry for us to know what is possible because it's like there is no ceiling, right? But one thing that I want to just like tell you right off the bat is a mistake that agents make is we start building something and we don't understand like why we're building it or why we're going for that. So one of the first things I would challenge you to do instead of just saying like, I want 100 grand, I would want you to identify, and what I walk my agents through is two numbers. What is your survival number and your thriving number? So number one, like, okay, you're in this business now. Is there anything you're responsible for? Is there an amount you have to bring in every single month?
Yes, I have to bring in $4,000 a month.
Okay. So we know 4,000 is your survival. Now, beyond survival, if we're actually, we're able to do the things that we want to do, we're able to maybe go eat a little bit and take care of ourselves, and we're definitely investing and we're putting money back into our business. Have you thought about what that thriving number looks like, where you're doing the things you want to do beyond just surviving?
Yeah, I would say I would feel really comfortable if I was bringing in 6 to 8.
Okay. So 8,000. Okay, let's go on the high end, which is 8,000. Oops, sorry. Let's go with 8,000. Okay. So 8,000 becomes your thriving number and 4,000 becomes your survival number. So 100 grand is great, but now we're going to get more tactical and we're going to tap into like actual numbers, because here's the thing that I love and hate about real estate is like we see these big audacious numbers like 100 grand and we're like, oh, I want that. And it excites us. But what doesn't keep us disciplined is not having a roadmap to a destination. So I want to make this bite size for you, right? So what we're going to do next is we're going to reverse engineer it so we can find out what your daily activities and your actual opportunities and conversations need to look like to get that. So my question is, are you going to commit to your survival number or your thriving number?
I'm going to commit to my thriving number. I'm all in.
Yeah, I love that. So obviously at this point, Kristen, depending on who they are, if they're on my team or if I'm like actually, coaching them, we actually work backwards through that. So this is a really important thing for two reasons. Number one, when like I need this to survive, it gets your head in the game and it keeps you motivated. And then with your thriving number, that's where you're like, you can push a little bit more. But another thing, Kristen, is this is where your boundaries are going to be built, because what I see for women that are going to hit that 100 is they go all in, right? And what we can talk, there's so many ways this conversation can go. We can talk about the low hanging fruit, how we're going to build, and we'll do that in a minute. But the thing is that you don't want to hit burnout. right?
Mhm.
Like so many women, I know women that have come in and they've hit the 100 grand, they've hit the 200 grand, the 300, and then they hate life. They hate their businesses, they hate everything. And then they have to figure out how to like burn it all to the ground and rebuild it. So what I like to do is help you to build it in a way that's actually going to be sustainable. And so now not only do we know the numbers that we need for income, but now we know the activities that we need to be doing. And we know how many opportunities. And this is where freedom comes in. Because if I know I need 14 buyer opportunities a month, and I know I need 5 seller, when you're number 15 and you don't respect my boundaries and you're a brat, or even if you're number 13, I'll go find the right number 14, right? But when you start to know these numbers of like how many opportunities I need to hit my survival number, how many opportunities I need to hit my thriving number, that's where all of us get a backbone and we feel a heck of a lot better saying no to business that isn't for us. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so I know you came on this call and you're like, I want to make 100 grand, but we've actually identified that if you made more like 48 grand, you would be surviving and
Okay.
you'd be happy.
Mhm.
And if you make more like my math here, if you make more like 85, 90 grand, you're thriving. Like you're ecstatic, right? So now we've reset our expectations. So now it's really talking about like what you want to do. So have you thought about going on a team? Do you want to build your own, and go completely on your own? Like, how do you want that build to look?
I want to talk about it as if I was on my own. I don't think I need a team, but again, I don't know what I don't know right now. So I am open. But I am around a bunch of amazing people at my brokerage, so I could tap into them as well. I did want to say too, like am I want to work between drop off and pick up as much as possible. I'm going to throw that in there too, just because that's like the time my kids are gone and it's hard outside of those hours to focus on work when I'm trying to be a mom and a wife.
Yeah, I know that struggle. I know that struggle really well. And I would say that, this is the right build because I always tell agents their sacrifice. It's just a matter of where you're going to make it, right? So either you're going to make it. Some agents like to join a team and get strategic and they like to go for low hanging fruit. And that's not necessarily wrong, but they're delaying what you need to do to build a business that is independent from anyone else. And so when you're delaying that, it's like you're going to have delayed pain instead of upfront pain. So I love that you're all in for the upfront pain. And what that really just means is that you have to work with more intentionality between school, right? And that's totally okay. So I love that. Okay. So the first thing is, I think you know this, but real estate is a contact sport, right? So another thing I would have already walked you through at this point, Kristen, is identifying like kind of your price point and how many actual deals that looks like. So we know that thriving number, but we would also know if that's like 2 deals a month, right? So for this sake, let's just say you're going for 2 deals a month. And so we know the contacts. So what you need to do, I coach my agents on my team, in particular, we do what's called a 100-point day. And that has even if you're a brand new agent, right? Because I had agents that were like, well, I'm brand new. I don't have any deals to serve. And I'm like, oh, we got plenty of daily activities that we can do that are lead gen, right? So what you need to do next is identify what your lead gen activities are going to be. And this prospecting hour, which has changed massively, like back in the day when I got in the business, this was the dreaded like cold calling hour. And now that can look so different. That can be intentional engagement on social media. That can be meeting up with people and going to coffee. But the bottom line is it is still, it's belly to belly. It's face to face, right? And so we've got to get that on your calendar. And that prospecting hour, which honestly, if you want to scale to that thriving number, it needs to be 2 to 3 hours a day, right? That needs to be the bulk. Your new business needs to be your top priority. And that can go on your calendar. And it can be moved. So if something comes up and you got to do it at 1 o'clock right before pickup instead of 9 o'clock right after drop off, that's fine. But it can never be deleted. So then we would walk through that, Kristen. And is that something that you're, open to committing to?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is how we really start to hunt, right? And another thing that's really important is this is a noisy industry. And so what I don't want you to do, I know you said like, oh, I'm surrounded by all these amazing people. That's fantastic. That's great. And there's going to be a time and a place to tap into them. But what I don't want you to do is be like, oh, well, Mindy's doing this and it's great. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. And then, who's Francis? Francis is doing this and this person is, and I don't want you continually disrupting your business.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're also going to do is we're going to identify the 3 pillars of business that you want to focus on, the 5 lead gen activities for each of those pillars. And you are going to commit to those every single day, 5 days a week, and doing that prospecting. And then we're going to start to work in like servicing the opportunities as they come.
Okay.
How are you feeling right now?
I feel great.
Good, because this can be a lot. But remember how you build a six-figure business is just one bite at a time,
Yes.
one layer at a time. And another thing I want you to make sure that you don't do is inevitably, I don't know if it's because we're moms, I don't know if it's because we're wives, but Kristen, I was just on a call with somebody last week and I'm trying to remember who it was, but she was already like 3 miles down the client experience road, which I love. Like I love a good client experience, but she doesn't even have her first client.
Yeah.
And the thing that is going to be a differentiator for you, Kristen, is being the executor and doing it, not even if it doesn't have to be perfect. You can be doing it at 60%, but you have got to be the executor in this season. And that's what sets the agents that actually have the six-figure runway to their career versus the six-figure failure to their career apart, is the execution.
Yeah, I could see that.
Are you going to be comfortable with that?
I am.
Okay, so we kind of went over so far today, just to recap, we went over getting intentional, knowing what our numbers are, not just setting a number because it sounds great, but what it actually means to our family, identifying that survival and that thriving number so that we can protect our boundaries and start to build a calendar that's going to be what we live and die by. And then also it's going to help us to have those boundaries. We also have identified how many transactions we need. And then when we dive into the pillars, and Kristen, obviously this would be like probably the 2 part of the call, or the homework that I would assign you with is like, what is it going to be? Is it going to be open houses? You have to figure out what the 2 or 3 pillars that you want, and you should pick what's life-giving. There's no reason in 2025 you should pick something you absolutely hate. But then you've got to go 5 strategies deep and you've got to commit to this. Like I've had agents that have done 100 open houses in 100 days, right? Because it's just that muscle that they're building. So what is going to be your commitment? Like what is your pillar that you want to build from?
Social media for sure.
Okay.
Open houses, I am interested in learning more about. And there's 2 other ones that I'm thinking about is one is I love when you said coffee dates because I'm out getting coffee every day. So what does that look like? And the last one is I'm really involved with the community of the school that my kids are in, and I'm meeting all kinds of new moms all the time. So any opportunity there.
Yeah. So I love that. And I think, so one of the things that I have my agents go through is the memory jogger, which is like, it makes you think of every single person in your life, who you do business with, who you interact with, maybe who you're giving business with. And then I have my agents on my team develop what's called their Faithful 50. And this could even be your faithful 10, like if you're a brand new agent. But when we start talking about like coffees and relationships and things like that, I want you to identify a solid handful of people, ideally 50, that are going to be your core people. Because here's what's so amazing. We overcomplicate the heck out of this business. We have like 50 products and we have like 10 different lead sources and we do all these things. And the truth is that your business can thrive and you can knock that thriving number out if you just have 50 advocates. Like if you just have 50 people that know you, like you, and refer you, your business is going to be all in. So I want you to identify the people that you're going to go all into. So when we think about those coffee dates, when we think about like, social media, yes, you're going to market and it's never going to stop. You're going to be putting yourself out there. You're going to show up. You're going to become the solution to somebody's problem, right? That is the number one thing that you want to do is be the solution to a problem. But aside from that, you're just going to pour into these relationships because these are people that you enjoy doing life with. And you're going to ask them not if they can give you business. That ask will come, but you're going to ask them like how you support them right now. What is it that they're working on? And this is going to be a huge game changer. So how many coffees like a week? Do you want to bundle them and like have coffee for 8 hours? You want to have 2 coffees a day? Like, what do you want that to look like?
I would feel comfortable with 2 coffee appointments a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah. So I would probably say like for you, and do you think a lot of those will come from like your kids' sphere, from like the boys, flag football, the school, all the things like that? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And just local people that I've been connected to over the years.
Yeah. And this excites me. I feel like, oh my goodness, this is where I always have to pace myself because you don't need all the things. But when you start having coffees and you start meeting with people, another pillar that you could think of too is like businesses. Back in the day, I built mine with like with attorneys, probate attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, all the things. And I would just go sit with them and bring them coffee at their office and just ask them all about their business. And then I would always ask them like, oh, your staff was fantastic. Like they were so great. They helped me. Do you mind if I drop a basket off for them? And nobody's ever going to be like, no, please don't love on my staff. Right.
Mhm.
So then I would drop off the basket. And I just keep refilling it like every 3 weeks. Like I'd be back. And so like these baskets, and then I'd start to brand them. And then I'd learn like the people's favorite things. And so like slowly but surely I built a relationship with like all of the people inside of the probate office, all of the people inside of the bankruptcy. And so, that business partner business, just starting with like taking people coffee, was an exciting part of my build. So anyways, that's something else that you can like think about if you're like running low. Okay. So obviously on this call, we're not going to identify it all, but I want you to think about it. So right now we've identified your mom sphere,
Mhm.
and you're going to do 2 coffees a day.
Mhm.
And including your mom sphere, you're going to build your 50. Like those are your 50 people. I want you to get them in your database, because that's another thing you need to start building. So I know there's some moms out there killing it without a database, and that's amazing. But what I always hear people say, even the top producers, is like, I don't have a database, but they always have something.
Mhm.
Whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's like a note, they have something. So I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but I'm going to tell you have to have something that you can continually be visiting and measuring how much you're pouring into those relationships. Okay.
Okay.
And then also, I want you to really start to, it's important that you learn to hunt, right? And that's why some agents like don't have success, or they have temporary success because they're on a team, because they learn to fish from a barrel and they don't actually learn to hunt from an ocean. There's a difference, right?
Mhm.
And so another metric that I want you to make sure, in addition to your prospecting metric that you're hitting every single day, is database additions.
Okay.
So database additions, here's the thing. Agents always ask me, like, maybe it's somebody on Facebook, like maybe you get tagged in a post and somebody's like, oh, here's a realtor you should know. Or maybe a call comes in from, online and they were on your website or something randomly. Agents are always hesitant to ask for the address. Look, if you can't build enough rapport, if you build enough rapport in the first 3 or 4 minutes to have a conversation, and in that you can't ask for an address that 99% of us know how to get without them giving it to us,
Mhm.
that's a good indicator that that person's never really going to move. So it's a muscle I want you to build from the beginning, is starting to ask people for their address, which I'll walk you through it. But like loving on people out off of social media, huge disruptor, game changer. It's like, Kristen, on your birthday, how many people write on your Facebook wall?
I don't even know. So many.
Right. But then like one person pops up in your DMs and you're like, oh, like that's a little bit different, right?
Really.
But what about the person that actually like sent you a card to your house and like cupcake or something?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a huge difference.
You would remember that person, right? So
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's the whole, what you're telling me and what we've like identified is you have that sphere. And so I
Yeah.
want you to think of that sphere when we talk about those layers. Like, what are the things you want to do? Like, do you want to be the person that loves on them off of social media?
Mhm.
Like, you want to be the person that like, disrupts things and it's not just like cold and like, stale. So anyways, you're going to keep building that. But to build that, I want you to have database additions and be comfortable asking people for their address, and then love on people really well. So I want you to do probably at least a database addition a day. Do you think that's too much? Do you think you can do that? I mean, you said you want your thriving goal.
So just to be clear, a database addition is somebody that's brand new that I'm like, I just met them.
You just met them and you have enough information to contact them somehow.
Yes.
I do sometimes sometimes that's just a Facebook link. Sometimes it's just like, I really liked them. I had a great connection with them. Like we hit it off on a thread on Facebook. So I'm going to put that link in my CRM. And when I go in to love on my faithful people, or the people that I want to build with intentionally, I'm going to use that link to click there. But I'm also intentionally going to look for the opportunity to say, hey, like, can we grab coffee? Right?
Yeah.
Can we grab coffee? Or, hey, can I have your address? Because I'd love to send you, my business card or whatever. Like, I probably should order business cards. I haven't had them in a few years, but just, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, what you want to be doing is moving these people down. It would be weird. Like when I popped in your DMs, that's how our relationship started.
Yeah.
But it would have been so weird if like the first DM I'd been like, hey, Kristen, like, so here's my vision. I think we should be business partners and blah, blah, blah. Like that would have been so weird. Right?
It's so true. Yeah.
I didn't start that way. I started with like, hey, and then like that I think it was within 6 months, I flew to Arizona and sat down, and then I brought all that, right? I literally laid out like the whole map and I'm like, here's where I think we should build to. But I held that for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to have a system of like the database additions is where the intentionality comes, because every day we have somebody that we're like, oh, that person was cool. Imagine if we compound that for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we go back and every person that we were like, oh, I like that person. We actually put a little bit of effort into building a relationship with that person. Do you know what that looks like in 5 years? In 5 years, we're not going to be talking about let's scale to your thriving number of 6,000. We're going to be talking about where I'm at today. And I'm so honored and blessed and thankful to be here, is that when I suck and I'm not doing anything I'm supposed to, I can still sell $10 million a year in real estate. And I don't say that lightly. I say that with some conviction, like I need to do things better. Right. But that's the blessing of like loving on people and that compounding over years.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that. I can completely commit to that.
Okay, perfect. So for the sake of the strategy call, that's supposed to be 15 minutes, that we're 5 minutes over. So thank you for booking, this complimentary call on with me. I love this. This is what I get to do for all of our moms in real estate. Side note, if you haven't booked these, you can book these with me. So what I've done today is I've helped you to outline your, your numbers, you know what you need to do. You need to reverse engineer that so that you know exactly how many conversations you need to have. And you need to be intentional and out there hunting, and then get these database additions. And then you already identified like your sphere. You're going to build for that faithful 50. You're going to build those 50 people that are your advocates. And then you also said you're
okay. Sorry, hold on. Keep
going. You're good. We're role playing, so she doesn't really need to know what she's going to do. But you also are going to go in on social media, so you need to build your strategies for there. So your 5 lead gen activities for your social media, and then you have to identify your third pillar. And then from there, Kristen, what you need to do is you need to start. I'll leave you with this, like. Your bottom action goals are you need to build a calendar that you live and die by. I want you to schedule those coffee appointments before you even have them. So I want you to know, like, Tuesday at 8 and Tuesday at 10, I'm having a coffee appointment. And then your job every week is to look at your calendar and go, oh, I'm supposed to have 8 coffee appointments and I only have 2 booked. Go find 6 people.
Yeah.
Go find them. Okay.
And
then I also want you to identify the activities that you're going to be doing during that prospecting hour. And even when your first deal comes, I do not want you to serve the deal first. And that's going to be hard, because inevitably the first thing we do is serve the business, but that business isn't going to give you any new opportunities. I mean, it can through referrals, but it's already in the pipeline. So every single day, the first thing that you do and the first thing that you protect is your new business and your prospecting. So you're going to do those activities based off your 3 pillars every single day, right?
Okay.
And then you're going to do those CRM ads, and you're going to continually be adding those, and nurturing those can be part of that prospecting. So you see how stuff starts to intertwine.
Yeah.
So you're like, what am I doing during my prospecting? You're going to nurture those people that you're adding to the database edition and just move them one level closer in relationship. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. So the only thing you have left to do is identify that final pillar and those 5 activities. And then, I mean, what I would say is, Kristen, get your nose down. Don't add anything else to your business. Put this all in like a simple process for you to know exactly what you're doing and just do it. The businesses are built in the mundane. Businesses are built in the boring. So if you commit to this, I guarantee you, and I would even give a point. This is what I do with my agents. There's like a point to every activity they do. Identify that and make it your goal to hit your points. My agents, if they hit 100 points every day, here's what I know. Every agent, and I've had the honor, and this is actual, I've had the honor of coaching over, 300, 400, 500 women to build 6-figure businesses. Nobody has ever committed to a 90-day stretch of hitting 100 points and not turned around and had a 6-figure, not just year, but even myself and dozens of moms have had 6-figure quarters the next quarter. Mm-hmm. So like, this is what you need to do. These activities every day.
Yeah. And it's so, when you look at it like that, it's so simple, but we just let everything else get in the way.
Well, it's because we try to go too wide and not deep enough. This is why I want you to just have 3 pillars and go deep on those pillars. That doesn't mean that when an opportunity comes outside of those pillars, you don't serve it. And like, we didn't talk about this on this call. And I mean, there's just too much to talk about on one call. I can't build a whole business on a call, but this is where marketing comes so important. This is why you niche down, right? Because I know in theory, you're a brand new agent. You're like, I'll serve anybody and everybody, like, just give me the deals. But you're not going to get advocates, and you're not going to build a healthy business, and you're not going to stand out if you're saying, I'm here to sell houses to anyone, anywhere. Nobody is going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to call Kristen. But when you have a niche and it's a very clear niche, then you become the solution to a problem. And then you're still going to get the other opportunity as well, because you're memorable because of the niche. Even though the niche isn't the problem that they have, you've made yourself memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was this helpful for you, Kristen?
This was very helpful. And going outside of my role playing, you guys, I will tell you the coffee date thing. I did that. I would plug in 2 coffee dates 5 days a week, and I would plug people into them every week. And that's how I planted seeds and built relationships and built my businesses. So it works. It does.
100%. And while you're not in production, I have the conversation with agents about you probably 2 to 3 times a week, because this is just the truth, right? Like Kristen and I are both also in the agent business, and we're at Real, and we're so thankful to have like that, another leg of our business. And it's been life-changing, and it blows my mind that like more people aren't wanting to build it. And so I get so excited when agents come to me, and I had 2 or 3 agents come to me in the last week, and they're like, but I'm not where I need to be in production. And I'm always like, you do realize Kristen's never sold a house, right? And then their mind is like blown. They're like, what? And I'm like, you got to understand, people aren't coming to you because you sold a house. People are coming to you because you have a trusted relationship, and you're the gateway to the company that's going to make a difference in their business, right?
Yep.
So I say that because it's not like Kristen's built a small agent business. Like she has, I would argue, one of the most powerful and most connected agent to agent businesses in all of the country. And I've been aligned with like amazing people. And literally the relationship you have is deeper than almost any, like, and I know you don't even like the word influencer, but it's just so much deeper. It's so much real, and so much like, it's just so much more authentic. So anyways, I love that. Like, and if we did exactly what you did in just your, and you do it that way for agents, but if we did that in our real estate businesses, Kristen, all day long, we're earning 6 figures plus.
Yeah, I really encourage people to do that, because not only are you building, your business and you're going to get clients and whatever else from it, but you're building something that's so sustainable for down the road, because you have people that are like, they love and trust you, and you're in relationship with them. It's not transactional. It's like, not like, oh, I am meeting you for coffee because I'm looking for this deal. No, you're actually trying to provide value and be in relationship with them. And it goes so much further.
Well, and that's why you pick people that you'd actually want to do life with, right? Like if you're doing it just because you want to get something, it's just never going to go anywhere. It's going to be the most awkward coffee engagements ever. So I'll end on this. The one thing I do want to say is keep in mind, if you're that new agent and you want to do the scale like Kristen, anybody who tells you there's balance is BS. But what I do build my business on is intentional imbalance. So I'm intentionally imbalanced, meaning there's times that I'm intentionally work heavy. There's times that I'm intentionally family heavy. And so I would really understand that you're going to be in a season of doubling down. As a brand new agent, you need to be doubled down. And so it's going to be an intentional season of heaviness with work. So make sure you get your family's buy-in, make sure they know what that looks like, set some goals, set some exciting goals. So it's not like, oh, you missed dinner again, but it's like, oh, you're here. That's good. But did you make all your calls, right? Like it'll change the conversation and how your family supports you if they understand what it means when you hit that thriving number. What it means, like, what does it mean when you hit $6,000 a month, right? That shouldn't just be something that motivates you. That should be something that motivates your kids, your husband, your spouses, because all of a sudden when you have the support behind you and you don't feel split, then you're going to be able to take this, you're going to double down and build it much faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is fun.
Yes. Thanks for putting me in the hot seat. I was like, all right. I was like, do I have anything around here for notes? Apparently this is what my grandchildren have been here again. All right, friend. Well, we'll be back next week. And next week we actually, Kristen won't be with us because she'll be out of town, but I get to host Kayla, and Kayla is going to come and do her workshop, right, Kristen?
Yep. She'll be doing her workshop next Monday.
Yeah. And the reschedule was totally worth it, because now somebody's going to get a whole year to the lounge. So that's so cool. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Right.
Bye.